Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing, my unstoppable family? I am here again with another interview, and I have with me one of the most incredible girl, the lady, the boss that I know around me. I have seen her. She's been crushing every single day. The way she show up, the way she's doing the work she is doing in the back end, in the front end is absolutely amazing. So if you guys are watching us live, drop a hashtag live where so that I know that you guys are watching me. Hi Kiran, welcome in. And if you guys will be watching it on replay, drop a hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, she's right here with us. She's a sales coach, and we all need sales to run business, right? Drop your questions here, and I know she's gonna help you answer those questions. So, welcome in, Taiba.
Thank you, Uzma. It's a real pleasure to be here. Uh, I want to give a shout out to Uzma because she's an amazing coach, and I always look forward to her post, to her content, everything she does. So I am so happy to be here sharing this virtual stage with her.
Thank you so much. That appreciate you. So, Taiba, tell us a little bit about your journey. I know a little bit. Of course, I've been watching you from almost a year now. But for our audience, where did you start and where are you heading now?
Yeah, so I started my journey in 2020. So back then, before 2020, I was
Mm-hmm.
actually, since 2018, I was working at a IT company.
Wow.
And in 2000, by 2020, I had
Mm-hmm.
gotten a very good MBA college in France. It was called EDEC. And COVID hit hard. My scholarship got cancelled. My loan got rejected, and my parents couldn't afford such an expensive college, so I couldn't go for my MBA training.
Mm-hmm.
So, but somewhere in the back of my mind, it was always there that I want to do something of my own. I want to be financially independent. I want to do something big.
Yeah.
So I was very very depressed for a long time because I had started learning French. I was in that mind that I will go to
Mm-hmm.
France, and suddenly my life took a U-turn. So
Uh-huh.
then one of the mentors of mine, he suggested, Taiba, you should start teaching public speaking because I had done some championships in public speaking,
Mm-hmm.
wherein I had gone on national level of
Wow.
public speaking, and I had gone to international stages. I had participated in international speech competition in Toastmasters. So that was the only skill back then I had, and my mentor was very sure that I would actually be very good teaching it because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people would come to me also. So
Yeah.
uh, that was how I got started as a public speaking coach. And then I later pivoted into personal branding. But somewhere I realized that I'm always somebody who likes to do, like, who's more interested in business part of things. So branding is definitely one very important part of the business.
Yeah.
But somewhere down the line, I wanted to do the core business, like
Yeah.
sales, marketing, all of these things. And
Yeah.
recently, I realized that I said to my current business coach that, I want to become a business coach. And he said, you would be a great business coach, but start with one area. Just don't
Mm.
go with a very broad
Yeah.
thing. So he said, what are you most passionate about? And he started analyzing me. And then sales
Mm-hmm.
came in as something that people also want because
Yeah.
there are coaches who are doing courses after courses and, they're stuck with
Right.
sales. And I was passionate about it. I was doing for almost now 4 years. I've done back end closing for coaches, and currently also I'm working with some very good coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I do it for fun because I get a lot of experience going on so many
Right.
calls and experiencing so many people and understanding their psychology and
Right.
what goes in their mind, what makes them buy, and so all of these things excite me. So yeah, currently I am into sales coaching, but yeah, the plan is always to be a business coach and expand my horizons towards an area where I can train coaches on literally everything, like, help them
Right.
start and then scale their business
Yeah.
from the scratch.
So one thing that I have also seen you when I started watching you, you were also into personal branding and now you are into sales coach, right? And I feel there are many people out there who want to do something different, but then, that feeling of being scared inside if I do something different, people are gonna accept me, or will it work for me? Even recently when I started hijab, someone reached out to me and they're like, I can hardly recognize you, Uzma. Like, weren't you scared? It's all about your branding. You are a completely different woman now. So when you made those shifts and when you're looking at scaling, do you also get those kind of feelings? And if yes, the people out there, what would you tell them?
I was shit scared to be honest because I was getting really good response in my personal branding. I was charging high ticket and it was all
Right,
going good. I mean, I was getting very consistent clients also, and this was something that I brought up with my coach also, and he said it's okay to let go of what you have done so far to create something you knew that you want to create.
right.
And it's all about your own conviction. If you feel that you can
Yes.
do it, you can do it. It's all about whatever the mind can conceive and believe. I'm a very big fan of
Mm,
Napoleon Hill.
yeah.
So I always, I don't know, I have this kind of fatherly relationship with him. The days I don't
Mm,
get in touch with his books, I have a book beside my bed, and
mm-hmm.
I'm a very big reader also. So there's a crazy thing that I'm following right now. No, no YouTube, no podcast, no nothing, nothing. No, I don't watch
Lovely.
anything because what happened, Uzma? I was consuming so much of content that my
Right.
creative block, I could not hear my own thoughts, what I
Oh, I
was
love it.
feeling, what I was experiencing. I was
Right.
consuming a lot, and it
Yeah.
was creating a fuzziness in my brain where I could not. Everything was becoming so skewed. I was buying random products that I was not interested in.
Mm,
I was getting influenced a lot with so many external things, which I mean,
right.
so many things were pulling me apart in so many directions. So, one big thing that I did was I stopped consuming all content. Like,
Lovely.
literally, it's my coach that I follow, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe some few good friends who I
Yeah.
consider as people that can help me out. I will
Yeah.
maybe consult them who are
Yeah.
actually professionals because when there are so many people in the world and you are trying to go in all different directions, you end up becoming confused. So one thing that I've
Absolutely.
started following is no content apart from like what I get from my coach. Because
Right.
obviously when you are getting coached by somebody and you trust that
Mm-hmm.
person, you
Yeah.
will go in depth. So what I do
Right.
is I rewatch all the sales recordings.
Mm,
I actually did a lot of study of sales. I mean, I was doing sales for quite some time now. I
yeah.
started doing high tickets last year. Before that, I was selling. But before that, I
Mm-hmm.
was selling, you can say, mid ticket or low ticket products. But since last year, I started selling high ticket products.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had that conviction I can teach it. But, it was my mentor who kind of gave that push to me, that
Right.
belief that yeah, you can
Yeah.
really do it. And then
Yeah.
when he said it, I really surrendered. Then I did not question it, I did not. So
Yeah.
I just did a lot of study also. I went on so many calls, and I'm a crazy person. When I take a mission in life, I really go all in. So now
Right.
you would be saying I don't comment a lot, or I'm not so active
Yeah.
on Facebook also. I will go there because I learned something from my coach. He said something: if
Mm-hmm.
you are a creator, people will listen to you, and you will get all the things that you want. But if you're just a
Yes.
consumer,
Yeah.
then you will get lost in the noise. And that was what I was feeling. So no
Yeah.
consumption, only creation. Yes, if I
Yeah.
need inspiration, I have my coach, I have my masterminds, I have
Yeah.
my community which can help me.
Yeah.
But I think watching too much of content also, you start forgetting your own
Yeah.
self. I've started journaling every day these days. I'm working a lot harder on my inner
Yeah.
self now
Yeah.
because I feel that we, as an entrepreneur, if you don't know your inner world, what are your
Right.
strengths, what are your weaknesses? Like I pray every single day. Although I am very modern as a person in my dressing and my,
Yeah.
like I'm not what do you say, like a very strict person in my dressing and all. But I'm very,
Yeah.
very to the. If you see me, if you see my lifestyle, I'm very, very conventional in that way. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm also somewhere in the middle. Like
Hmm.
I'm not here and but I'm not there, but I'm somewhere in the
Right.
middle. Like I
Yeah.
pray, I still pray 5 times a day. I still read
Mashallah.
the Quran every single day. I
Mashallah.
still look for good verses, and
Yeah.
I always consider Almighty as a very, very. He's like the glue of my life, and
Absolutely.
I mean, he's just, I feel that I get recharged every time I am just
Yeah.
going to my prayers. And my husband is super chilled. He's not so practicing. and he gets a lot of chiding also in family
Mhm.
that see the wife is so practicing in this.
Yeah.
But we both are a little like we are a mix. We are modern. We are
Mhm.
practicing. Uh, we are in the middle. Like we are not
Yeah.
towards. Yeah, I had, and maybe at some point of time, if I have that conviction that I want to wear a hijab, maybe I will
Yeah.
wear it.
Yeah.
It's just an inner conviction that you feel.
Right.
Right
I
now,
agree.
maybe I'm not that in that zone. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm just trying to do the best of what I can, and I try to understand myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was hard, but yeah, the shorter answer of this would be if you work very hard on yourself, on your inner self, there would be a lot more conviction in whatever you
Right.
do.
I
So
think this one thing that not only one, you have said multiple things actually. If I put together and I look back,
yeah.
I remember when I started in 2022 and everyone was telling me, Yusma, you are going with extremely high speed. And whenever I look back, I was like, I was just doing my work. I was not even trying to be fast because my goal was if I can just quit my job. That was the only thing was happening. And even buying a house was not in my list because I had told myself it's never going to happen. But my thing was the same that you are telling me. I was instead of going and seeing like what other people are posting and doing, I was like, I would rather create something meanwhile, right? And let them watch me. And I was not listening to any other person, just my coach. Even if I feel like I'm distracted for like, let's say 1 or 2 days, I will go to my coach and say, I have seen X, Y, and Z person saying A, B, C. My mind is a little confused. Can you help me unwire it? And I was like, okay, what was that? And then he was helping me with those things. And I feel many people out there, even when they spend some investment, they, invest with a coach, they do not go and reach out when they feel like their mind is messing up. And you are doing
Mm.
that thing, it's great. Like this is the best thing ever someone can do. No distraction, just focused. Let people watch you doing the stuff.
Yes.
So
And
one
I
thing,
would
yeah.
appreciate you for, every time I happen, earlier I used to read a lot of your content also.
Mhm.
And I could feel that every word is actually handwritten. Like literally you have
Right.
written every single sentence that you're saying. And it's almost like you are having a conversation with this person. So that authenticity is very high, and I think that is why your posts get a lot of traction, because
Yeah.
people can have that heart to heart connection with that post or that piece of content, and you're being so honest, and you bring out so many like you are just hitting the nail on its head. So I think that also
Appreciate you.
just grabs a lot of attention, and I think
Yeah.
kudos to you on producing such high quality content. I mean,
Appreciate
it
you.
takes a
Appreciate
lot
you.
of work, emotional energy, because
Yeah.
I have seen you posting a lot about your journey as well, the emotional
Yeah.
ups and downs. And I think it takes a lot of courage to put all those pieces of content out there.
Right. I still remember when I was starting out and everyone was like, oh, you are a mother, it's going to be hard. Just do this way or go on 10, influencers profile, pick up the ideas. But my thing was, I don't know if it's more of I was creative or just the kind of person I am. If I'm watching five people doing something, I'm like, वो हिंदी में कहते हैं पकड़ के खिचड़ी बना के अपना कुछ बनाते हैं. So I was also
Mm.
always like, नहीं, हाँ, I see what they have said, but I have five more things and I want to add that, I want to do that. And the same way, like you said, when you have a mission and you're all in, if I know that I'm going to do something, I'm gonna just do it. I don't care what's happening, even if makes me like sit on my floor and I'm just literally in my phone typing in, I will do it. It's like
Mm.
that conviction.
Mm.
One thing, Taiba, of course, you are a speaker. You started as public speaking, and one thing that's very much into sales plus speaking is storytelling.
Mm.
So how do you normally, how much do you use storytelling in sales and how does it really help you closing it?
To be honest, I'm more into questioning now. I tried
Mm,
Yesterday, I was having a very interesting conversation with one of the very big coaches,
uh-huh.
and he said something that just blew up my mind. Like, I've never thought about this. So, whenever we are doing calls, we're trying to build rapport with the clients. We
Yeah,
try to show some testimonials, maybe some videos, some good work that we have done, some acclamations we have got, some
yeah.
numbers that we hit. And he said to me something that was just so counterintuitive to anything that I've heard. So he
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't show any testimonials when before a call or anything. I
Yeah,
don't show any, awards, anything. I'm not showing. I'm not showing even my content pieces. But when I go on that call, I go so deep with questioning. I go so all in
Yeah.
that they realize this person is actually the master. So, storytelling is important. Sometimes, in between, you have to give that mindset. Like,
Yeah.
today I was on a call with a client and I could see that there is that need, like, he is suffering like anything because he's not able to sell.
Yeah.
But his resistances are so high that he
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, or maybe the pain has to increase so much that he can't bear it anymore.
Right. Right. I agree.
So, I mean, it's all about making the person realize, and it's always about questioning. Maybe I'll give a mindset sometimes through a story or
Hmm.
something, through a
Like a
client
perspective
story.
shift.
Yeah, yeah, but that is very few. My always,
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the best closers, they ask very deep questions, very meaningful,
Right.
very relatable questions. And that is my aim. Whenever I'm going on a sales call, I try to be as quiet as possible because no,
Yeah.
I know I can be uh, very chirpy at times because I'm a very expressive person, so I can
Yeah.
speak a lot more. But I know on a sales call that's not my role to do. So
Yeah.
sometimes maybe if they are feeling hesitant, I'll give my story. I'll give the
Mm-hmm.
story of a client to make them feel confident. Maybe I'll get a client on the call live on the call. So I'll
Yeah.
say, hey, you know what? We have a prospect sitting here. They're feeling a little underconfident
Yeah.
or unsure about this program. Would you like to share how was your experience? And
Right.
the people who have already learned from me, they are
Yeah.
live on the call, and the other person. So that builds a different level of rapport because
Right.
this person is live on the call, and you haven't, like, it's not you have made any bypass or you're trying to
Right.
manipulate anything. It's just live,
Exactly.
so honest. So I think that is one thing I do, like live sharing, or if I can bring people live,
Hmm.
because me sharing a lot of good things might just make them feel, oh, she's a coach, she's trying to sell, right? So
Yeah.
that is why she's sharing a story. But when the
Right.
other person is sharing his or her own story, that
Yeah.
makes them feel confident and they see themselves in that client. So I
Right.
think doing sales is also, I think, a lot about the subtle things that we do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to go very, very deep inside things, especially the mindset part. A lot
Yeah.
of people who are in sales, they always think it's a sales script. It's not a sales script that does the magic, it's the
Yeah.
mindset. Because maybe you close a few sales calls, but then you will go in
Yeah.
self-sabotage mode.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Because you have not upgraded your
Yeah.
mindset. So I think mindset is big. And now my focus on my channel and my content pieces is for the next few times, like next few months, just to focus more on the mindset. Maybe I've
Hmm.
given sales scripts also, I've given everything, but I
Yeah.
feel sales mindset is the thing, that's the game.
Right. Right. I
You
agree.
understand it, that's you'll become unstoppable actually.
Yeah. It's also about when like you're closing in the back end and you see that person's body language. Sometimes I have also seen when people their expression change, their body language change. You can see that getting a little uncomfortable or they don't want to say something, and then you feel like, okay, no script is gonna help. I have to step in, showing this person I know what's going on, right? And the one thing that you said is more about the questioning part. And I still feel like sometimes, because I read it somewhere else a couple of years ago, that never tell something because you're not persuasive, always ask, right? And sometimes, in the heat of the moment when we are having a discussion, I have still find myself I'm start telling. But as I feel like, oh, I'm telling, and I stop and I ask, the whole thing changes. And my husband
Mm-hmm.
is some like, when I have a question, he's like, fish rogue.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing that about questioning, this is literally game changing. And then, of course, when this person is right in front of you and they are the one telling you everything, what's going on and what they want, you are literally doing the minimum work. They're
Yeah.
doing all the things. So that's a huge shift going from, yeah, there will be part of storytelling, like you said, but major part is going to be about questioning and making them realize that why they need something. So one more thing that I have personally seen, of course, as someone in sales, is managing prospects and having the list and having to do the follow-ups. Do you like just focus on creating the content as a follow-up? Because I also feel like when we just put one more content, and it's in front of them, that still reminds them we exist. We don't have to go in DMs. But like, what is your way of doing the follow-ups or managing all the leads?
So right now, my systems have totally changed. Earlier, I was following the organic style wherein I was maintaining a Trello board and
Yeah.
everything. But right now, I have a list, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
running ads. So what happens is every time somebody is inside, he's there. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do is I mark them as green, red, or orange. So green is somebody I've
Mm.
already booked a call with. Orange is
Okay.
somebody they're not picked up or something like that. Red is they're not a right fit, so maybe I'll just put
Okay.
them off the list. So, and I update the list every single day. So that's something that I'm
Mm.
doing on a daily basis. And every Friday, I like to just I collect all my recordings. So every single time I'm going on a sales call, I just record
Mm-hmm.
myself. I will send it over to my mentor also, because sometimes we feel we have done a great job, but the mentor will tell you know
Yeah.
what, at the end you could have added this, or maybe you don't have
Right.
to add this because maybe he's just not the right fit, or he's not.
Yeah.
Because just today what happened was I had a client today and he was like, give me the link,
Mm-hmm.
give me the payment link, I'm about to pay. And then he just dropped off the call. And I just
Mm.
then I asked my mentor what to do, because he was so committed and everything was happening. And my mentor said that there would be people who would resign sales, and that is why
Yeah.
they're stuck at that point of time. So he said that do a follow up once or twice, and after that, let them go. If you feel
Yeah.
that person is not the right fit, let them go. And I think
Yeah.
as salespeople, we should not put so much of pressure on a yes, because it's
Yeah.
equally good to get a no. Because if somebody,
Yeah.
for example, if somebody is not into your program, it's okay, go to the next person. There's so much abundance
Right.
in this world.
Right.
And now actually my perspective is shifting a lot, because when I'm going on sales call, my aim is only in fact I said in my clarity calls also, I'll try to help you as much as possible. And if you like this clarity call and you want to know
Mm-hmm.
about my program, maybe I'll tell
Yeah.
you about it in the last part.
Yeah.
So is that comfortable with you? So I always take permission and everything. And if they
Right.
say, hey, and then after we are done questioning, after a while they themselves start saying that, I want to do this. I want
Yeah.
to, just go ahead and I want this program. So I think it's all a matter of mindset, how you approach. And then I always feel that, a lot of times when people are selling, they're thinking like, I'm taking some money away from somebody.
Right. Right. Right.
But when you feel that, okay, I am taking, let's suppose, X amount of money, but I am giving 10x the value,
Right.
that's the game changer. That's where you start feeling so confident. All the
Yeah.
top coaches in the coaching industry, if you see, they're so
Yeah.
confident with their products. I'm working with two coaches. Like one is my mentor, other person I just do back end closing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, they are fabulous in their own ways. They have their own styles, but they both have one thing in common. They say, Taiba, we have the best product at the best price.
Yeah.
And I mean, that confidence is selling, because
Yeah.
imagine if you are not confident about your own product or service, how will the client or the other person
Exactly.
feel confident? So I think a lot of things have to do with your inner world, and again
Right.
your thought process, what goes between the 2 years. I think that creates a world of difference.
Right. Right. I I remember I created a piece of content maybe a few months back, where I said I see people feel like when they invest in high ticket, they get the confidence of charging high ticket, but the reality is the better they understand on what they are providing to their audience, that builds your confidence. And I feel multiple times, even when someone new came in and they create their offer statement, they don't dive in deep as to how am I exactly going to deliver this statement. It's easy to create that statement, and that
Yeah.
gives you that certainty and that conviction. And I have felt the same way. When I was starting out, I was not very confident in what I'm saying, but like now, of course, I'm a completely different human being. So with that being said, do you practice something, or you help your clients, like how you help them build that confidence on a sales call, or that conviction in what they are saying?
So I think we have a module on mindset and psychology, and I think my mentor has done a great job teaching us, and I've got some
Mm-hmm.
mindset things from other people also.
Yeah.
Like I keep reading the Master Salesmanship from, there's a book called Master Salesmanship by Napoleon Hill. I completed that
Uh-huh.
book. Then I also, my mentor did a great job. So
Mm-hmm.
He went very deep into the human psychology.
Yeah.
So I think a very big focus is understanding your psychology, your own self as a person,
Yeah.
because a lot of us, we are addicted to failures, we are addicted to struggles, as
Right.
much as it sounds counterintuitive, but we are, you know why? Because people have a very messed up relationship with money and success, because
Right.
when they were a child,
Yeah.
they were told that money is evil, but money is like
Yeah.
a fire. You can burn down the world or you can light it up.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
upon the
Yeah.
use
Right.
of that money. So I think when
Yeah.
that relationship with money and success is very messed up, like in fact, in my family, I used to hear a lot, oh, that person, he's become successful, he's become rich, now he'll become arrogant. Now,
Right.
how
Right.
will that child develop that mindset with money? Every time now that person
Right.
is going on a sales call, trying to make another sales, he's like, I'll be rich. Shit. I don't want to be like
Yeah.
that person, that uncle, that aunt who's rich.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
subconsciously, although consciously he wants the money, but
Yeah.
subconsciously, for so many years of his life, he has been programmed to not be the person who is rich and successful,
Yeah.
which is such a wrong belief. And in our religion also, if you read the story of David, which is Dawood
Yeah.
alayhis salam, right?
Yeah.
He was a king. He was a king, but he never missed a prayer. He was the most just person. He was the
Yeah.
most fair person. He was the most humble person. Same was his son,
Yeah.
Sulaiman alayhis salam, if you see
Yeah.
how people call it Solomon. He
Yeah.
was like, once he missed his prayer because of some horses, and then
Mm-hmm.
he actually he removed those horses because
Hmm.
he realized that this is a distraction for him.
Wow.
So, all these stories, they remind us of something, that we need to have the right, we can be rich and we can be, doing good in our personal lives. We can be
Right.
a good human being. We can be
Yeah.
compassionate. I think those beliefs, which are so deep down within us, sometimes we don't even think, because we are constantly scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. And that is why
Yeah.
I stopped scrolling, because I realized that this scrolling is robbing away my mental space. I'm
Agree.
trying to
Totally
seek an
agree.
escape.
Yeah.
So that is something I think some people are also addicted to struggle. They say slow and steady wins the race. Now, if there is a road and there is no speed limit, if somebody is
Yeah.
going slower than you will judge him. If somebody is going faster than you will judge that person also. So, what
Right.
is the speed limit? The speed limit is the one that you decide. You can make
Right.
1 million in a year, in a
Right.
month,
Right.
in a day, and
Yes.
in an hour, and in a few
Yes.
minutes also. It's all
Yes.
here. So I feel people
Exactly.
have this thing, slow and steady wins the race. These are all
Beliefs
concepts
they
which
are
are,
carrying. Yeah.
yeah, which are kind of limiting their potential. Now, every time they are going on a sales call, they are shit scared, because they don't want to make money. Consciously they want to make, but subconsciously they don't, right? Because
Yes.
they're addicted to struggles. Then there's also a big fear of failure. Oh, if I fail
Yeah.
in this call. So they are running away from their fears, from their mistakes.
Yeah.
And I say, when you start facing all these fears and when you do the inner work right, I think you'll have an amazing time. A lot of things come from the childhood. Uh,
Yes.
I was reading a book today
Mm-hmm.
called "The Stillness is the Key," and that book
Mm-hmm.
had a chapter called "Heal Your Inner Child." Now, in
Mm-hmm.
that chapter, that person specifically mentioned all your childhood traumas,
Yeah.
your scars. A lot of
Mm.
them come from your early childhood when you were 7 years
Right.
old. So, a 7 year kid, 7 year old child is running your entire life. Sometimes we feel now we reacted like that because that person said something. No, it was not about that person. It is
Yeah.
something within you. You have
Yeah.
to pick those layers. You have to, peel those layers layer by layer, and you will realize there's something within me. Like recently, somebody was trying to be very critical, and I got very very angry. And I
Mm.
started decoding myself, because every time I'm getting some emotions, I'm trying to understand, why am I getting this emotion?
Right.
Why
Right.
am I getting triggered? And the
Yeah.
answer I got was, because as a child, I'm the firstborn, and
Mm-hmm.
in my entire maternal and paternal family, I was like the firstborn, and I was the most
Yeah.
cherished like child, both
Mm-hmm.
by parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties, every. like literally I'm the focus.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you are that cherished, you try to be perfect, perfect, perfect. And all my life
Right.
I've been trying to be just this perfect girl. I've never given myself the permission to make mistakes. But now I say,
Right.
screw it. I am not perfect. There are a lot of things
Yeah.
uh, where I'm not good at, and it's okay. Because
Right.
I don't have to keep up that facade for all of my life. And it's okay. Even
Right.
if somebody is giving criticism, I don't have to be reactive. I have to really understand, is it true? If it is not true, then I don't even have to think. But if it is true and adding value to my life, that person is like a free consultant for my life.
Right.
Like you give
Yeah.
lots of money to McKinsey and all these companies to find flaws in your business, right?
Yeah.
And the work that you're doing, and that person just came and give you like free consultancy. So just
Right.
take it like
Right.
that and just move on in life. So I think a lot of it has to do with your beliefs. And when we go in that session, we actually try to go very, very deep in human psychology. We also try to go in human biases, like what are the
Yeah.
biases that we might face as human beings. Maybe they are from childhood, from our
Yeah.
past life. So I think when we go very deep in these mindset things, and
Mm-hmm.
also I think I one exercise that I make my students do is I ask them what
Uh-huh.
is that one number that you want to make every single month, because a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know what number they are comfortable with every single month that will help them lead
Yeah.
a good and happy life. And that is why they're not motivated, because they don't have that vacation in their mind, they don't have their child's education in their mind, they don't have that
Right.
number in their mind. And that is why when they are on a sales call, they are not so motivated. They're like, okay, chal raha hai.
Mm. Got it. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
a lot, it has to do with our mindset and your
Yeah.
inner self and your inner child, like how
Yes.
you were treated in the childhood. That plays a very, very big role in how you show up in the world today.
Yeah. One thing that I am really thinking, actually, I was thinking for the past few days, but when you're saying all those things, and I can also relate to it, is we say that it's going to be one skill set that we are going to master or we are going to do something about it. But then one skill set is connected to multiple different branches and we still pay attention to them. Like even when we are talking about sales itself, it's also knowing yourself very deeply. If I am not asking a certain question to that prospect, what is stopping me from asking that question? If I am not really trying to close not in a pushy way, but if I'm not really looking forward, like yes, it's gonna be a close today. Why is that even happening? Or why I am not trying to collect the payment, all those things. And talking about that inner healing and everything, I think it's very deeply connected, and that's maybe is the biggest reason why a few people are going so fast because they are actually looking inside rather than looking outside, and that's making a huge difference.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it takes a lot of work, but it's also beautiful. It's
Yeah.
also very enlightening. Like I started doing my inner work very recently. I started
Hmm.
journaling every single day. I started reading every single day. I
Yeah.
started digging down. Every time I'm upset, every time I'm feeling a certain way, I'm asking questions to my own self, because later few years down the line, I might be running a big company. Now,
Yeah.
if I
For
have the
sure.
same emotional roadblocks, how will I overcome them if I'm not able to overcome them right now?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think a lot of us, we want to bypass our emotions, and
Yes.
that bypassing is not helping us. So I think it takes a lot of inner work.
Hmm.
And obviously when you are internally sorted, I think you will show up in the world, right? Like a lot of people, like today I was talking to a prospect and he said, because I'm not able to close sales call, I'm good for nothing. Now see, if his
Wow.
mental state is like that, how will he show
Yeah.
up in front of his clients,
Right.
right? In his future prospects, he would show up in that manner, and the people will not get that energy.
Right. Right. Yes.
So it's actually very deep.
So besides journaling and of course the way of questioning yourself, because I do both things, what are some of the other practices you do for really the inner work or healing? Or you like, are you reading books? What do you do for that?
I think one thing I do is, especially there is a process, an emotional regulation system that I've developed for my student also, and I'll share crisply
Mm-hmm.
here also. So
Uh-huh.
every time you're feeling a certain emotion, uh, if it is a strong emotion or if it is a mild emotion, whatever if it's a very mild emotion, you don't need to worry because it's not
Yeah.
strong. But if you're feeling something and your emotion is like, they are like the direction tellers. Like they're
Yeah.
trying. If you're getting angry, means you're feeling helpless. You need to do something about your situation, right?
Yeah.
So every emotion is so. First is the moment you're feeling a surge of emotions, you need to label it. What am I feeling? Like,
Mhm.
am I feeling critical? Am I feeling offensive? Am I taking
Yeah.
somebody's blame upon me? What am I really feeling? Am I feeling
Yeah.
compared to? Like recently, somebody
Yeah.
came, a prospect, he didn't know me, he started comparing me. He started randomly comparing my funnel to somebody else's funnel. I said, I have a different business model and they have a different business model. So
Right.
how can you compare apples with oranges? So I got very, very offensive
Yeah.
back then. But I again asked myself, what was like, I don't like to be compared, because as a child also sometimes my parents would compare me with my cousins, and that was the worst feeling in
Yeah.
the world, because they are they and I am I don't
Right.
want to be
Right.
like them. I have my own
Yeah.
strengths and they have their own strengths. And as Indian or Asian parents, there's
Yeah.
this habit of comparing kids, which is
Right.
not healthy. It's very bad. So I always ask what am I
Mm.
feeling? Like once you label, like, because see, we are feeling creatures. So 80% of the time we are feeling a lot of things 24/7. So once you
Right.
label, okay, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad, and be honest
Yes.
and as specific as possible. And then ask why. Now the crazy
Mm.
part is the why is not so simple. Like we think, okay, this person said this to me and that is why I reacted. But
Yeah.
that is actually the excuse that you're giving to yourself.
Right.
Actually, if you peel off those layers of your childhood, you will find some incidents, some childhood things, some childhood
Yeah.
trauma which has not been healed.
Yeah.
And as you journal, as you do the inner work, you will realize, oh, like I was realizing a lot of things. I was doing my journaling and I was writing a lot of things. I realized that I was a person, for a lot of period of my time, I was always rushing. I was always trying to be on time, very, very disciplined. Because
Yeah.
my father was like that. He was always
Mm.
rushing through life. And for the 2 years of my marriage, I never even sat down and looked at my photo album of my marriage, because I
Wow.
was just running. I was just
Yeah.
running. And I realized, oh my God, so much I've taken from my father. Good things also, like he's a natural leader, he's very
Yeah.
disciplined. But it was extreme, like to the times, like even if he's sick, he will go pray, he will do everything. Even
Yeah.
when he can take a little bit of liberty, even then he
Yeah.
will do. So, you then go and once you find why you had that, healing is very, very simple, because once you understand, okay, this incident happened, you can
Yes.
always
That
then
awareness.
do a burning bowl. Like you can write that incident
Mm.
and you can be like, I let this incident go, or you can just burn those pages. You can write whatever happened and then burn that paper or that thing
Yeah.
which you have written. So it just goes off, and then there is a proof in your mind also. Okay, I've burned this, and this is gone. This
This
is
is
flushed
finished.
out
Yeah.
of my life. My
Yeah.
life is cleansed. There's so many methods, but the first thing is finding the why. Because the moment you diffuse that, because every time you're trying to control yourself, you're trying to control
Yeah.
that feeling, you're sitting on a live bomb which might explode any moment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the moment you go inside, you cut those wires, you're
Mm.
like, it's done. You don't even have to go to the how.
Right. Right.
So I think that why is very deep. It's not so simple. A lot of people say, okay, that person said, so that is why I'm reacting like this. No,
Yes.
it's very, very, very deep. You will see a lot of people, they're so sensitive about their looks, because somewhere in the childhood somebody said something about their looks, and
Yep.
they're still conscious about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like when I was a child, my a lot of my family members, they said that you have a little bit of chinky eyes, like you look a little Chinese, like
Mm-hmm. I
uh,
used to call same.
so like they used to say, so for a, and different things. And my mom, she used to cut my hair always, make me
Mm-hmm.
dressed up like a boy. So for a
Mm-hmm.
long, when I got married, I could not feel my feminine energy for a very long period of time,
Yeah.
because I didn't know what, like I was acting the part of a man.
Right.
Right?
I
So
can resonate
again,
with that.
that comes from the childhood, because my mom had a disempowering belief that if you're a man, only then you are empowered. That
Right.
was her belief,
Yeah.
and that she imposed. But now I believe you can be a woman and you can be empowered.
Yes.
So, I
Yes.
mean, these are all childhood beliefs. The more you read, the more you sit in silence, you create that mental spaces for yourself.
Oh,
Because
I love it.
I
Yeah.
think now we scroll a lot, we consume social media a lot, and the more digital discipline you apply, because there's also a term called digital arrest. Now, what is
Hmm.
digital arrest? Like you
Yeah.
go on your phone, you're watching a reel, and the second and third, and an hour has gone. It's like the
Yeah.
mobile has arrested you for an hour or 2 hours, or sometimes for a very long time.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
need to let go of that so that we create that mental space to ask ourselves questions which are important to us, which are running our life, and which make our life better.
Right. A few things that I can resonate a lot is me as a masculine person, in the way where I was being told as a child that girls don't do this, girls don't do that, girls don't speak louder, girls don't go outside. And I used to even say that, okay, then why am I even a girl? I would rather be a boy, right? Or maybe let's say my both brothers are, one is 8 years older than me and the second one is 6 years older than me. And my mom used to say, they're like your father. So if they are not allowing you to do something, you're not gonna do that because brothers are like father. So I'm like, so every single power is in a man's hand. Who the heck I am? And that also made me do all the things. Okay, I will do this. If something is not working, I will even spend hours and hours if something is not like it's broken. I will fix it, telling and proving myself I have the power. And that's the same thing. My husband
Hmm.
still like I still tell my husband, do you sometimes feel like I'm not very girlish? Like I don't have a jewelry. I don't do many things girls do. It's like I'm okay with that. The way you are, I'm fine. But I can see, as you're saying, and I also feel sometimes I do not have a lot of things that normally women have. Like they're going and buying dresses and the jewelry and the bags. Some part of me even go there, but that I just came back to me as I have the power, I can do it. And this conversation is definitely, I'm enjoying the conversation, but at the same time, I know that it's quite late at your place. So I'm gonna have you do a quick message, a quick recap. Like, what is the one, two, or three things that you would tell the audience that if they want to really scale and grow their business, not specifically about sales, because you have worked with a lot of business owners and you, of course, been part of their team, what would you tell them is the one core thing they need to work on if they really want to build a successful business?
I think just find a niche that excites you, people you understand, and a problem that you can solve. And
Yeah.
then just work a lot on your inner self.
Yes.
Just do the inner work, because if you do the inner work, there, see, as an entrepreneur, life is hard, and it becomes
Right.
harder if you don't have the right mindset, because every time you see an obstacle, you are like, oh, it's a dead end. But if you
Hmm.
have the right mindset, you're playing it like a game. It's like, come
Yes.
on, bring it on, baby. It's like, I want to play, I want to have fun, right?
Yeah.
So I think having that mindset is very, like in sales also, the best
Yeah.
closers are those people who have got the most rejections also. How crazy is that?
Right. Yeah.
Because they are approaching to most people, and that is why they are
Yes.
getting more rejections, and that is why they are doing more closes also. So I
Yeah.
think mindset is very, very, very crucial. Don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
uh, Work very hard on your mindset. Choose a niche which excites you. Go deep. Always, I say, go deep. People pay for specialists, more for specialists and less for
Yeah.
journalists. So whatever you're doing, go very, very, very deep. Like whatever you're teaching, and
Yeah.
always, I think you should also add an element of mindset in your every chapter, everything, whatever you're teaching. Add
Right.
a mindset, because if
Yes.
people don't understand why it is so important, they will not do it.
Hmm.
uh, you know, our current mentors, when we joined his program, the first
Yeah.
thing that he made us do was a vision board. Now I realize how powerful was that, because he
Yes.
connected our business goals with our life. And
Yes.
now these two are one thing, they're not separate.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of people might feel pressure, oh, I have to complete this assignment, that. Now I don't feel pressured. It's exciting me because I have my goals in front of me. I know this is what I'm striving for. This is what I'm
Yes.
looking for. So I think just that mindset is so important. Lot of coaches, they're just teaching the skill set when
Right.
they definitely need to teach the skill set. I'm not
Yeah.
undermining value of skills. Skills are really, really important. But before
Yeah.
skills, I think there are three layers. Like there's belief, then there is skills, then there's character. So if
Hmm.
you have belief, you can acquire skills, and then that builds your character.
Right.
Obviously, character is not built overnight, but the fastest thing that you can build is a belief. And once you give
Yes.
somebody a belief, he will figure it out on his own only. Like once
Yes.
somebody gets to know, okay, this is the amount of money I need every single month, he will figure out ways. Okay, should I learn digital marketing? Should I learn real estate closing? Should I learn coaching? Should I learn this niche? He will figure it out. But that why should be clear, because as human beings, we are driven by reasons. We want reasons to do
Right.
things. And mindset
Yeah.
gives us that reason, that clarity, why we need to do something. So I think I'm very big on mindset, and then obviously go very deep on your skill set and
Yeah.
just surrender to, I think I believe, like for one thing, surrender to one mentor. Like I've had
Hmm.
mentors for a relationship. When I got married, I was very new. I didn't know what to share with whom. So I started working with a
Hmm.
relationship coach, and she really helped me out.
Yeah.
And by God's grace, our marriage has turned very, very beautiful because of her and
Alhamdulillah.
because of the efforts that we put in.
Yeah.
So just you should know where you need a mentor. For
Yeah.
mentor, I just have three mentors as of now,
Mm-hmm.
which is mentor for business, which is another for life coaching, somebody who helps me with, if I'm feeling low, if I'm not feeling all right, then somebody for my health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who helps me train and,
Yeah.
tell me the right exercises, the right diet. And still, I don't have one mentor, which is for finances. My husband is the one who actually consults
Mm-hmm.
me because he's very good. And I always say that, when I become very big, you are going to be the CFO of my company. But just get one mentor for one field and just surrender. Because if you don't surrender, because your coachability defines how much good you will do. So please surrender.
Right.
Pick one mentor, just surrender to that person. Whatever that person tells. If he tells that stand on your head, stand on your head.
I do the same. I say the same. I'm like, उल्टा लटका दो बता दो क्या करना है. I will do it.
Right, right. So just do it. And I think just believe. Sometimes human mind, we spoil our own manifestations with our own minds. एक दिन जरा सा
Yes.
कुछ नहीं होता and we are like, okay, it's not happening, and the world, the universe is amazing. Whatever frequency we are at, it will align itself. If you say it's happening,
Right.
happening, happening, it starts happening, right? But
Yes.
the moment
Yes.
you say it's not happening, the universe also aligns. Okay, you want to be
Yeah.
here,
Okay.
let's be here. So I think just
I totally
don't
agree.
spoil your manifestations by saying bad things, or like you should obviously acknowledge your emotions and understand, okay, it's going to be, obviously it's not going to be like you'll press a button and money will start flowing.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
walk that path definitely, but just don't put, like, don't define how it's gonna be. Let the universe also. I think as coaches sometimes they try to take too much of charge also. Like it's good to do your work and then let go. Let the
Hmm.
universe do its part. Let the
Yeah.
Almighty do His magic, His work.
Yeah.
So a day I was talking to an astrologer. He came for a coaching session. And he started
Uh-huh.
telling me that you have got very strong numbers. Your date of birth is like 1% in the whole universe,
Wow.
and all of those things he started telling me. And he said that this time is preparing you for something bigger in the future. And I always
Yeah.
say that everything is happening for me, because if I don't believe that,
Exactly.
I will start feeling the obstacles at the end of life. And Uzma, I think you would also agree that
Hmm.
every day is a new challenge. It's not the same. One offer you do,
Yeah.
another offer changed.
Right.
There was one method to generate leads. I was doing good organically and then stopped working for me. And I had to
Right.
shift to ads. And now it's a
Yeah.
new ball game because cold audiences are coming, and persuading them is a new ball game altogether. So
Right.
it's every day a new battle. But just if you have the right mindset, if you have done the right due diligence, if you have done the work, and if you have
Yeah.
surrendered to the universe, if you believe, if you just don't spoil your manifestations, and I think everything will work. And I think very, very average people also do very good, if they just believe.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
the problem with very, very intelligent people sometimes is they're doing too much of analysis paralysis and spoiling their own manifestations.
Right. I was reading Brendan's book yesterday, High Performance Individual, something like that. And I read a paragraph and I was literally, sometimes you get the numb moments, like I never thought about that. And there was a whole paragraph saying that you trying to be certain is actually stopping your growth. Be curious and let it happen. And I was like, yes, we want to be so sure about everything. We want to be so certain. Like if I'm doing a masterclass, it needs to happen that way. Then when we don't see it happening that way, let's say, okay, I have 25 people, these need to stick till the end. And if one dropped off, maybe that woman was just a mother, she need to go watch her kid. But in your mind, you're telling yourself, oh, someone dropped off, maybe I said something wrong, maybe she was not finding value. And then we want that certainty so much that we stop ourselves. And like you said, many people who are so talented, they have actually put more barriers on themselves, like, oh, I'm so good in something, I need to have something, and then they are not doing anything because they just want to be perfect.
Mm.
And I think this thing, like, okay, let it go. I'm not trying to be the perfect one out there. I'm not trying to be certain. I learned this thing very early on from my mindset coach, uh, because I'm just like you. Whenever I feel like I have an area, I need someone to help me, I will hire that person. So mindset coach, she told me these things, that you need to be curious no matter what. Instead of questioning yourself, be curious. Okay, my coach is saying X, Y, and Z. How about I go and do it and let's see what happens? But the moment you feel like I need a certain answer, it's not going to happen. And you're actually just making it more difficult. So thank you so much, Taiba. To be honest, I would sit here and listen to you whole night because I can see the growth you have inside you. And there's so much treasure still to explore. It's not just about branding, it's not just about sales. There's way much more that you have worked on yourself. But it's about the relationship. It's about, I love it. There's so many things that I have learned today, and I know my audience is going to absolutely love it. Is there something else you want to share with them? You want to give them as a gift?
Oh, thank you so much, Uzma. I really give my full heart gratitude to Uzma and accept all the blessings. This is like when you open your hands, it's like like you're taking the
Tight hug.
abundance of the universe, and you're opening yourself to universe. Like this, we learned in MMI, Millionaire
Uh-huh.
Mindset Intensive, that whenever somebody is saying something nice, just observe it like a sponge
Accept
and
it.
just
Yeah.
say thank you. A lot of times we try to reflect it. So I think. Maybe if they want to check out my YouTube channel, they can. It's called Taiba Mehmood. They can just Google it, or they
Okay.
can just go on YouTube. They can.
Uh-huh.
I produce a lot of like mindset things also. Tomorrow also, I think some video is coming in which I'm going to tell
Okay.
about top 5 qualities of top closers, which I have
Mm-hmm.
observed.
Okay.
So that is something that they can check out if they want. And yeah, I think Uzma is doing a great job. I loved having
Appreciate
this
you.
conversation because it was very, very candid, and we really poured our heart out, and we digged very deep because a lot of people, when I entered the coaching industry, I thought that it was just about learning a skill,
Yeah.
and now I realize it's skill is just 20%. It's actually
Agreed.
20%. 80% is
Yeah.
the mindset. If you master the mindset, you will master everything else. So I think you're doing a great job, Osma. Keep
Okay.
doing these conversations more, and I would love to have you sometime when I start having such conversations or I start
Of
something
course.
new. I would love to
Of
have you.
course.
It's I've been consuming a lot of your content, and I would like to tell your audience also, like, I fully and completely admire your honesty, integrity, authenticity, the amazing work that you do. With a child, you are doing so much amazing with your business and handling everything. I think that is also something a lot of young women can learn
Yeah.
from. And it's amazing the kind of stances that you have taken in life, and you're so confident and you're so all in. It's just amazing. Your growth, your journey is also inspiring to me and so many other people. So, lots of love, gratitude, and so many good wishes to you for your business, for your health, wealth, everything from my side to you.
Thank you so much, Daiva. That was so, so kind of you. I really, really appreciate that. And with that, guys, I'm gonna get the link for Taiba's YouTube channel. I'm gonna add it either in the top of this video or maybe in the first comment so that you can go ahead. And I know she's dropping bombs there, so you can go and check it out. And of course, if you wanna go and connect with her, talk to her, do that. When I started this interviews, there was one thing that I was telling my clients that I am not really going to look at how much money someone is making, and then I'm going to only interview them. I'm going to look at how much this person inspires me every single day. Whenever I see them, I'm going to bring them on because I know they have a whole treasure inside them and they need to be seen. So that was all, guys, from our side. And of course, I'm going to see you in the next episode.